Joe in real life. The soft, slow tendrils of depression are creeping in. I can feel them taking root in me. I tweaked my neck sleeping last night. It always starts with something stupid like that, like something totally irrelevant that doesn't matter. James, I got my swings done anyway, but it's unlikely tomorrow. It was really painful today. But yeah, those of you who are accustomed to depressive, oppressing thoughts, you'll understand this pattern. But, you're a little bit overwhelmed, you're a little bit overworked. Life feels just a little more empty than usual. And that's not the bad part. That's normal enough. Some weeks are harder than others. But then something will happen, You'll be on the brink of being overwhelmed, and then you'll get a tweak. You'll get a little added pain, a little injury, or doesn't even have to be that. It could just be some bad news or another task to do. And it puts you over the tipping point, Before that, everything just feels hard. It's just, everything's a little harder because you're a little more stressed out, a little more tired, a little more overworked. But then you get like a zap. And then all of a sudden, everything feels like the hardest thing you do. And that's been the thought this morning. It's like I rolled out of bed and I couldn't get my left scapula to work. Or I could get it to work. It's not even an injury. It's just like a pinched nerve, I could get it to work, but not without pain. And every time I moved my arm, there was pain. And it was just like, man, fuck this day. I got a 12-hour shift I have to get to. And all day long, all I could think about is how all day long it's just going to grieve me. I'll be on my feet, trying to use my arm. And then all of a sudden everything felt that way, Like, everything is the worst moment. All day, all the time. And I know, first of all, before anyone overreacts, I know that that's not true. It isn't that it feels true. It's like an emotional current that you can't get out of, If you have to do something, anything at all, no matter how minor, it's the equivalent emotionally of having to use that arm all day, all the time. No reprieve. And I'm talking about it now in a kind of vain hope that just by airing it, just by confessing, that won't be the case. And if I'm telling the truth, it already feels like that is true, Like just doing these, I decided to do an old squat workout. This is 3 times speed. And just putting the bar on my back and going through the motions, I began to feel relief, Like just the empty bar, 45 pounds, hurt. But when I got up to right here, like 135, it felt fine. I felt good. The top set was ugly and hard. But as I muscled through, as I got out of this cloud of self-pity, there was relief. But that requires a little mental sleight of hand, a little witchcraft in the mind, where you're able to put it away for a moment and do the task in front of you. And you have those moments. Earlier I said there's no reprieve, and that isn't exactly true, Distraction is a reprieve. The problem with distraction is that you're distracted, so you don't notice. You know? It's like kind of the cruelty of it. And when you're present in your day, you're present in the cloud. So anyway, poor me, boo-hoo, yeah? Right? Like, oh, did you tweak your arm? You got to do stuff? Welcome to the human race. And, just talking it out right now, there's a cold rain on me and I'm walking around my cul-de-sac and I'm able to laugh about it. It feels kind of silly. And perhaps I will rally. Perhaps this self-therapy medicine that I've administered will work, and maybe tomorrow my arm will feel fine and I'll feel silly about this whole little rant. I hope so. Life's hard, man. We're all out there fighting our own individual struggles. We all have our own weights on us, and the real cruelty of that is that if you try to get over your hang-ups, if you try to get over the dark thoughts that oppress you, you're guaranteed that it will get worse before it gets better. That's part of the healing process, near as I can tell. That, like, if you're a depressed person, just as an example, and you want relief from your depression, the only way through is more depression. And that's scary in a number of ways, right? Because, like, obviously the depression's unpleasant. So willingly taking on more of it seems like a non-starter. You didn't willingly take it on to begin with. You didn't choose depression because it's your favorite flavor. So taking more seems foolish. But it's worse than that, unfortunately. Because taking on more is also dangerous. Like, and I don't want to teeter into suicidal ideation here, and I'm certainly not feeling that way. But if you ever have felt that way before, you know beyond doubt that going deeper into a depressive state, you risk that. That's a real risk. And probably you won't face it because the situations and circumstances that put you into that place in the past, they're not repeatable in a way that you might think. But that fear is real nonetheless. Like, you can go there. You know you can because you've been there before. And so risking that is asking someone to risk too much, And that's why, like, support is so important. Like, getting some help in these moments. And I should take my own advice, and that's probably true. But also, like, I'm putting the finger on it right now because I know that, like I'm fixing to have a bad day. But that's as bad as it's gonna get. Like, I got a little tweak in my arm. I got a case of the blues. Ultimately, it's not that serious. Sorry, I had a little gum. My point is that it can get serious. It can get serious quickly. It can go out of control. Anyway, that's it for today, guys. I'll stop crying. This is Joe in real life. I love you all. Be good to each other today. I'm going to strive hard to do the same. We'll see how I do. I'll let you know tomorrow. How about that? Until then, I'll see you.